Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Access Central. And my name is Andy Hersman, and I want to thank you for tuning in and watching. This show is basically about what's on my mind, and I want to make sure that what is said is accurate. So, anyway, you can call the show at 631 440 6012 and give me your opinion on today's topics, and we'll get that on the air. Now, the show is also on the internet, and one of the people left a message or on the website about the topic of the red light cameras. And I forgot her name, but she said that she agreed that the red light cameras had to go. And she was upset that, for example, medical doctors, people with MD plates, when there's an emergency, they go through the red lights, and then they have to go through this whole hassle of fighting the ticket. So that's another thing that I wasn't aware of. So thanks for pointing that out. Very interesting. Okay. I want to talk now about America itself. All right. Let me go start off by saying during the 1970s, I lived in West Germany, the Free Side. And while I was there, I learned a lot about how the people on the east side of Germany lived, the communist side. The citizens of East Germany were always watched by their government, and they could be put in jail without due process just by saying something the government didn't like. If a child drew the wrong thing in school, like a picture of a West German TV logo, their parents would probably end up in jail. The school children there were required to blindly pledge allegiance to the state, and the TV shows there were all full of lies and propaganda. They only had one political party, and I used to say to myself, gee, I am so happy and proud to be an American, so I don't have to live like that. But, this past 4th of July, I wanted to celebrate America's birthday. I wanted to be happy and proud to be an American, like I've always been. But then I took a long look at America, and now the way it is, and the way it's become. Think about it. The NSA watches us do everything. They read our emails. They listen to our phone calls. Matter of fact, I could be labeled a terrorist and thrown in jail without due process if there was something they didn't like. And I just recently read a story in the news about a father who went to pick up his child from school, and he was taken to jail because his daughter drew a picture of a gun. I remember all the times I was required to pledge allegiance to the flag, even way before I even knew what the pledge meant or could understand what it meant. And when I turn on Fox News and MSNBC, all I get is lies and propaganda. And now I look at our two-party system, and I realize they're both pretty much the same. So, what's the difference between America and East Germany? What happened to America? I feel like I feel like we are the worst than the police state in East Germany. Why is it that the police can pull me over and beat me, taser me, or even kill me without consequence, just for not showing them the respect they think I owe them? They accuse people of disorderly conduct or resisting arrest whenever they feel like it as an excuse to make an arrest. If you try to explain your rights to them, you get mocked for playing lawyer and just asking for more trouble. If you attempt to legally film them, they'll most likely take away your camera, erase the contents, and or just destroy it. The Constitution has become a worthless piece of paper. There are all kinds of checkpoints set up where police can stop you without probable cause. My bags can be randomly searched in order to get on a public subway. People on the street get stopped and frisked. The judges aren't there for justice either. They're always on the side of the police. Instead of Americans standing up for their rights, they're always saying, "Oh well," or "I have nothing to hide," or "Well, the police are just doing their jobs." One bad apple, right? That's what they think. Well, I don't see the good apples stopping the bad apples from doing what they're doing. They stand by and watch. So how good are they? There's so many laws in America right now that the average American now commits 3 felonies a day without even knowing it. In most places in this so-called land of the free, we can't buy fireworks, right? Marijuana is illegal. You can't marry the same person you love if they happen to be the same sex. And even legal products like cigarettes, try smoking them on a train platform or in front of a building or in a park or pretty much anywhere else. Completely illegal. Everything's illegal now. It's just ridiculous. You can even be fined for not wearing a seatbelt or a helmet. You can get arrested for jaywalking. You can't even buy a beer on a Sunday morning. And it's all in the name of keeping us safe, right? I'm sorry, but I have little to be proud of anymore. This country is trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. The politicians are all corrupt, and they don't care about people. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. I really think we've gotten to the point where we just can't fix it anymore. There's just too much wrong. Everything's corrupt. And all you people who say love it or leave it, trust me, if I could speak French, I'd be a Canadian citizen right now. So, what do you think? Am I going overboard, or is what I'm saying the truth and you just don't like it? Well, maybe you do like it. I don't know. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. But you can call 631-440-6012 and let me know what you think. Leave a message on the machine and I'll play you back on the air. Okay, moving on. I just heard that the stock market broke another record, and I think it was based on the fact that unemployment is going down. But that's what the statistics say. Unemployment is going down. I think most people are just giving up on looking for work, and that counts as unemployment going down. So this giant stock market we have, it's a giant bubble. It's about to burst, I'm pretty sure. We always have these bubbles in America. Stock market bubbles, housing bubble, .com bubble. It's all about greed and misinformation and corruption. That's why these things happen. Well, personally, I've been unemployed for 2 years now. And if it wasn't for my brother, I'd actually be homeless and probably even dead by now. I'm serious. So let me tell you, when I was growing up, I was taught that hard work paid off. And America is supposed to be the land of opportunity. So, when my mother died when I was 19, I didn't give up. I didn't go on welfare. I didn't drink or take drugs or pray to God. All I did was tell myself, I'll do what it takes to survive. So I worked. And I worked really hard For 7 years, I worked 3 jobs, 12 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I slept from midnight to 4 a.m. and had no social life. I really believed hard work would pay off. Well, after those 7 years, I was able to find work that paid better, so I only had to work 10 hours a day. And, I did what I was supposed to do. I came in on time, I was loyal to the company, all the things you're supposed to do to keep your job. Now, I admit the hard work was paying off at the time. I even bought my own house in 1999. That was just 14 years after I was homeless and broke. So, at one point, I had other companies that I've never even sent a resume to call me, offering me better jobs. Because my reputation in the industry was so high, and I never thought I could be unemployed. When you make yourself valuable and you work hard and get a good reputation. Well, guess what? Yep, you guessed it. One day, the company I was loyal to sat me down and told me I was laid off. No reason given, no warning, just bye-bye. And at first I thought, no big deal. I'll just go get another job, and then I'll take the severance money that they gave me, and I'll sock it away and save that for retirement. But then it became really clear that it wouldn't be easy to find work anymore. Something changed. Companies didn't want people with experience. People like us cost too much. I remember back in the 80s, you would just send out a resume you typed, and you send it through the U.S. mail, and you'd get an interview and a fair shot at a job if you qualified for it. But today, oh boy, today you have to sit online and send hundreds of resumes and hope they have the right keyword that their computer is looking for. So if your resume doesn't have those precious keywords in them, forget about any kind of interview. Now, even if you do get these right keywords, there's a lot more hurdles you have to overcome. Is your credit score okay? Have you been unemployed for a while? Being unemployed is a big no-no for people looking for work. Most companies are looking for people who are already working. Okay, well, let's say you actually have a good credit score and you weren't unemployed for too long. What about your Facebook page? What does the internet say about you? Are you a liberal, a conservative, a Tea Party libertarian? What about your religion? Are you Christian? Are you a Muslim? Or an atheist? Are there any pictures of you with a drink in your hand or a tattoo on your back? Are you pro-union? Are you over 50? Do you have health problems? All these things that shouldn't really matter if you're qualified for the job really do matter. And they matter a lot. So yeah, the odds are stacked against you. There's all kinds of reasons a company won't hire you. And legal or not, they will use it against you. So, instead of being productive at the peak of my career, I pretty much lost everything. Everything I worked hard for. My retirement money, my investment property, my savings, my checking, everything. And you don't think it can happen to you? Hey, no matter how good you are, how loyal you are to your company, how many years you've been with them, how valuable you make yourself, they can just lay you off at the drop of a hat for no reason at all. And once that happens, the clock starts to tick. The longer it takes you to find another job, the worse it'll get, and the harder it will be to get one. It's like a spiral down that you can't recover from. Yes, that's the new cutthroat America we live in. So what do you think? You can call 440-6012. Tell me if you agree. Alright, I'm going to come out and say religion is really harmful to society because religion promotes irrational thought. And irrational thought can often lead to death. For example, a 12-year-old Polish girl hung herself because she wanted to see her dead father again. I mean, what a tragedy. She actually believed that if she was dead, she can see her dead father again in heaven. That's horrific. It's such a sad story. But that's what religion does. And here's another one. A 13-year-old atheist was kicked out of her home by her Christian parents. 13 years old. For what she believed or not believed. Unbelievable. Then here's another story that 2 children died at the hands of their own parents because they decided to pray for them rather than seek modern medical care. 2. The first time they got away with it, and then the second time they got away with it too. It happened the second time because the judge looked the other way. Yep, that's what's going on. Then there's a story about an Arizona guy, and he killed his own son with an axe because he thought he was a demon. I kid you not. And in a recent documentary, it's called "The Cruelty of Creationism." I think it was on HBO. It actually shows how biblical fundamentalism imprisons the mind. Even the Iraq War was pushed by Scripture in memos George Bush got from Rumsfeld. So, I'm getting tired of this religion stuff. It holds back science, denies evolution, it holds back stem cell research, discourages vaccines, and it's trying to stop condom use to prevent AIDS in Africa, or even in this country. It's unbelievable. It's just disgusting. And this Bible, all these people who say the Bible, they get their morality from the Bible. They think they have the moral high ground because they get their morality from the Bible. Well, guess what? The Bible actually condones things like rape and slavery. And cracks me up when people try to deny it because they weren't taught that by their preachers, surprisingly. But it's true. So it's pretty disgusting. So I think the evidence is overwhelming that religion is harmful to society. So what do you think? 631-440-6012. Tell me what you think about religion. Do we really need it in today's society? Is it causing more harm than good, or more good than harm? Because basically anything good that comes out of it, you can do without religion. So, what's the difference? Excuse me. Well, think about it. And if you want to debate me and tell me that the Bible is all good, I can tell you the exact verses. Excuse me. And show you where it condones rape and slavery. And don't tell me it only does it in the Old Testament, because it does it in the New Testament too. Yes, slavery is condoned in the New Testament. And don't tell me Christians only go by the New Testament, because then you might as well throw the Ten Commandments out the window. Think about that. Now, I, for one, think atheism is the way to go. Atheism is the lack of a belief in God, and the moment we're born, we have no beliefs at all. So basically, all babies are born atheists, and that's why it's the default position. The only way you can be a theist is if you learn what a God is and choose to believe in it. That means you must become a theist from the default position of being an atheist. So nobody's born a theist. Plus, if you lose your faith in God, you automatically, without having to choose to, go back to the default position of being an atheist. Pretty much that simple. So, what do you think? Is atheism the default position? Do you agree? I don't see how you could not agree with that. It's the starting point when you're born. But anyway, call 631-440-6012 and let me know what you think. Alright, and before I go, one last topic about today's modern music, which I really don't like at all. So call me whatever you want, but I was trying to compare today's music with the that was popular back when I was growing up, with some of the newer stuff from today. So I was comparing England Dan and John Ford Coley's I'd Really Love to See You Tonight from 1976, and I compared that song to Katy Perry's California Girls from 2010. Now both songs are short, catchy, poppy songs, and they were designed to make you want to sing along. So of course neither one of them is Mozart or Bach, but I'd have to say that even simple poppy songs have dumbed down over the years. First, let's take the artists' names. Okay, you got England Dan and John Ford Coley. I doubt any kid today has the attention span or the capacity to remember all that. Today, if you're going to sell music, you need a short name with as little as possible, like Katy Perry. Even Katy is shortened from Katy, K-A-T-Y, from K-A-T-I-E. Alright, now let's go to the name of the songs. I'd Really Love to See You Tonight. Now that's a mouthful, right? Today the song wouldn't sell unless it was spelled I'd Really Love L-U-V to C, C, just letter C, Ya, Y-A, and Tonight, T-O-N-I-T-E. You have to spell everything wrong nowadays, but even that's too long. It has to be short and dumbed down, like California Girls, and girls spelled G-U-R-L-S. You can never spell a word the way it's supposed to be spelled nowadays. That's only for nerdy scientists, right? Well, what about the image of these artists? Well, popular singers were always known to dress outrageous in order to catch attention. You know, long hair, leisure suits, and mustaches. But they're all tame compared to the bras that shoot out fireworks that Katy Perry has. That's mainstream entertainment now, isn't it? Yikes. Okay. Alright, moving on to the songs themselves. Back in the 70s, you actually needed some talent. You had to be able to sing without some kind of digital device fixing your voice. Real instruments were also used, not synthesized clones. I mean, sure, the technology is there, so why not use it, right? I think it's okay to enhance somebody that has talent, but what they're doing now is creating talent with this technology, and it's gone too far. All right, let's compare the lyrics. I guess both songs are supposed to be about sex in some fashion, right? Sex sells. I'd really love to see you tonight is almost like a story, though. It's clever because it uses the lyrics as a one-sided phone conversation. And they have words like, there's a warm wind blowing the stars around. It creates romantic images that people can relate to. Now, on the other hand, you got California girls, right? That leaves nothing to the imagination. Metaphors and similes require too much thinking. So nowadays you have to be as frank and offensive as possible. Sex on the beach. We've got white sand in our stilettos. Is that even fit for radio? I mean, I'm all for free speech, but no wonder why America is #1 in teen pregnancies. There's really a difference between romance and porno. And I'm not even a conservative, but this is driving me crazy. I don't think this is just another case of one generation saying their music is better. There really is some kind of dumbing down effect that's just destroyed the quality of what the kids listen to today. And it won't change as long as it's tolerated. So if you are a parent, which song would you rather have your kids listen to? Think about it. Well, tell me what you think. 631-440-6012. And leave a message on the machine, and I'll put it on the air and give your thoughts some consideration. So I guess we're coming to an end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you again next week with more topics, more opinions, more facts, and more things that aren't broadcast over the major networks. Thanks again for watching.